Hi guys, my name is Danielle Rittenauer. Hi guys, my name is Danielle Rittenauer. We will be going over Anomie strain theory for my Deviant sociology course. So let's get straight into it. We're going to go over the brief history and contributors to this theory. I'm going to just do earlier contributors just because of the time constraint that we do have. Let's get into it. It first started with Robert Merton. He developed the anomie theory. It is assumed that he got the idea from Emily Durkheim, who was the first to use the term anomie. But we came to kind of realize that his definition of anomie contrasted Merton's belief because Durkheim thought if people were not properly integrated into society, then deviance would occur. But Merton thought the opposite, where if they were pressured by society, then deviance would occur. Um, we'll also touch on other sociologists like Albert Cohen and Richard Cloward and Lloyd Owen because they later expanded on Merton's anomie theory. To start off, we'll do Merton's goal-means gap, which is the start of the anomie theory. Merton viewed that the U.S. society emphasized the American dream and pushing for success at a young age. Other countries don't have this type of pressure to them, and they're kind of okay with just staying in the lower class or middle class area. And I think a lot of people feel the societal pressures that if they don't move up in any way, then it's their fault for doing so, or at least America pushes that narrative. Um, Merton also emphasized that lower class individuals aren't given the same opportunities as higher class individuals, just like with the resources that are given to them. Therefore, lower class people will do illegitimate activities, and what I mean by that is stealing, robbing, doing illegal activity essentially to get to a higher means. We're going to go over Merton's innovation, which is conformity, innovation, ritualism, retreatism, and rebellion. Lower class respond differently when the U.S. Puts a strain which might cause deviance. So different people that are in the lower class will react to their situation differently. Conformity is the most common. They pursue the goals with legitimate means, meaning they go to work, they do what they can, and they try to strive. Oh, here's my cat. They try to strive for a better success rate in society. Innovation is also common. It's central to the strain theory, apart from the anomie theory. People favor the illegal activities such as stealing and robbing to get to a higher means. Ritualism is common for the lower class individuals. They have low aspirations and they kind of accept their own stance in the world, meaning basically they are okay with where they're at. They don't want to go higher. They won't do illegal activity. They'll just be honest workers. Retreatism is withdrawal from society. They don't care about achievement. They're typically drug users, alcoholics. I think in the book they said tramps. I'm assuming that's sex workers. And then rebellion are people who reject societal expectation. So they just kind of rebel against the status quo. Now we head on to Cohen's status of frustration. It's similar to Merton's Merton's goal means gap, but it adds on to it because he emphasized that Merton does not do a good job of explaining why young men do malicious behaviors. Um, Basically, he just kind of emphasized that lower class individuals are expected to act the same as middle class individuals, and maybe they feel like less than, which might cause frustration in their own lives. And another key thing is that he replaced the word success with status. Which then came status frustration. So if some people feel like they're not meeting the mark where they should be, it causes status frustration. Then now we get into Cloward and Owen's differential illegitimate opportunity. It divides itself into three subcultures. Their whole point was Merton didn't do a lot of explaining that People in the lower class don't have the same illegitimate opportunity, so some of them don't enjoy doing criminal activity. Some do, some don't, or they don't just have the means or the access to do that. The criminal subculture, stable neighborhoods with organized crime, the youth learn from older individuals. Their goal is money and success. Conflict subculture, since they might have a few crime role models, but their status gained through their society is violence and toughness. And then you have retreatism subculture. They lack access to both legitimate and criminal opportunities. They focus on drug and alcohol, aim and escape, not success or status. So they kind of just like they're like okay with where they're at, and they'll just do drugs and be fine with that. There are two main problems with the strain theory in general. Yes, statistically, it's backed up. It's backed up um, by like police reports and things of that nature. But unfortunately, like police only devote their time to lower class and not the higher class that do probably the same things with illegitimate activities, even though they have the access to do more. And then another thing too is that um, the whole theory itself assumes that the lower class individuals want the same level of success as the middle or the higher class. I think statistically, I think most lower class, they're okay with their situation, or they're just kind of like there. So they might not hold the same aspirations of success as some higher class individuals would. That concludes what I have to say. Here's my citation. This is where I got most of my information from. Yeah.